Tonight, I want to talk with you about a letter. A submission from a mother. A 17-year-old girl told her 20-year-old boyfriend that she was pregnant. The boyfriend's reaction was clean and simple. He dumped her. Just yesterday. The girl's mother, our submitter, only learned all of this afternoon. They cried together in each other's arms. Then the daughter said she didn't want to talk about it for now. The mother didn't press. She wiped her tears and got ready to go to her night shift. Her work schedule is Sunday to Thursday, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Just as she was about to walk out the door, her daughter suddenly dropped a bombshell. "I want to keep this baby." The door was open. The clock was ticking. The mother was about to be late. They had no time to discuss it. They agreed to sit down tomorrow afternoon and have a proper talk. But this mother wrote me this letter now. She said, "I can't afford another child." Let's listen to her story, okay? For the past 9 years, she has raised her daughter and the daughter's 11-year-old sister all by herself. The father of those 2 girls is an irresponsible man. The child support she can get is so pitiful that, she says, it's 3 times less than what the school lunch costs. She worked multiple jobs, pulled countless all-nighters, just to keep those 2 girls alive to this day. They live in a very small apartment. Each girl has their own 8-square-meter room. And the mother sleeps on the sofa in the living room. She has skipped many meals so the kids could have enough food. She says public daycare is full. Private is unaffordable. Before a baby turns 3, someone has to stay home to care for it. After 3, they can go to kindergarten. But what then? A baby doesn't need much space, but a toddler needs their own room. The only reason she has this apartment is because she inherited the money. Her country is facing a severe housing crisis. Her daughter, a 17-year-old single mother, absolutely cannot afford to move out with a preschool-age child. So, what is this mother's situation now? If the daughter keeps this child, this mother, this woman who has already gone hungry for 9 years, who has slept on the sofa for 9 years, will have to continue going hungry, continue sleeping on the sofa, and use everything she has left to raise a 3rd child. And this child is not hers. She doesn't want to force her daughter to have an abortion. She made that very clear. She does not. But she also doesn't know how much longer she can hold on. Dear listeners, tonight I don't want to give you a simple answer. Because there are no simple answers here. I want to talk with you about 3 words. The first word is boundaries. The mother said something in the letter that made me read it 3 times over. She said, "I don't want to force her to have an abortion." Did you notice what lies behind that sentence? It means this mother, a woman who has already sacrificed for 9 years, is still carefully respecting her daughter's autonomy, even though that decision might cost her another 9 years of sacrifice. This is a great love, but it is also a dangerous, blurry boundary. We often confuse something within families. I love you, so I should bear the consequences of your choices. No doubt we can love someone without bearing the consequences they should bear themselves. The daughter is 17. She made a 17-year-old's choices. She had sex with a 20-year-old man. She got pregnant. She got dumped. Now she wants to keep the baby. These are her choices, her body, her child, her life. But what about the mother? What are her choices? Does she have the right to say, "I can't raise another child"? Does she have the right to say, "I've been raising kids for 9 years, and I'm tired"? Does she have the right to say, "I love you, but I can't help you with this"? If love means endlessly emptying yourself, then that is not love. That is sacrifice. The second word I want to talk about is the cycle of guilt. Have you noticed a pattern? This mother, because the father of her two girls was irresponsible, has tried to take on all the responsibility herself. She skipped meals. She slept on the sofa. She carried it alone for 9 years. And now, her 17-year-old daughter is pregnant. The boyfriend is irresponsible. He ran away. And now it seems this mother is preparing to take on that next responsibility again. This is a cycle. An irresponsible man pushes a woman to the edge of a cliff. And that woman chooses to fill the pit with her own flesh and blood. But I want to ask a cruel question. If this mother sacrifices herself like this today, what will her daughter learn from it? Will she learn that it's okay, no matter what I do, my mom will carry it for me? Will she learn that she can become a teenage single mother because her mother will just keep starving herself to feed her child? Will she learn that a woman's value lies in endless sacrifice? I know these words sound cold, but please hear me out. The true gift this mother can give her daughter is not raising her child for her. It is saying one sentence. A sentence that might be very hard to say. I love you. I won't force you to have an abortion. But I also cannot raise another child. If you choose to keep this baby, you will need to find a way to raise him yourself. These words are cruel. Yes. But sometimes true love isn't about taking the bullet for someone. True love is telling that person the bullet is coming. I will stay by your side and help you figure out how to dodge it. But I cannot take it for you. Because if she keeps taking the bullet for her daughter will never learn how to dodge bullets. And her own wounds are already too many. The third word I want to talk about is enough. The mother said in the letter, she can't afford another child. She said, our apartment is very small. She said, I've skipped meals. She is already not enough. She doesn't have enough to eat, enough sleep, enough space, enough strength. And now she is being asked to give even more. My dear, I want to say one thing to this mother. And to everyone listening to this story. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are already hungry, you cannot feed another person. If you are already sleeping on the sofa, you cannot give another person a room. If you have already held on for 9 years, you don't need to feel ashamed for not being able to hold on for a 10th. Enough is not a failure. It is a fact. When you no longer have enough, admitting it is not giving up. It is being honest. What this mother needs to do is not force her daughter to have an abortion. Nor is it to force herself to continue sacrificing. What she needs to do is sit down with her daughter and tell her a truth. That truth is not I don't love you. That truth is I am used up. And then the daughter needs to face her own truth. She is 17. She was dumped. She wants to keep this child. She needs to figure out who will raise it? Where will it live? Where will the money come from? If the answer is mom, then the daughter needs to hear that no from her mother. I know some of you will think, how could this mother refuse her own daughter? But let me ask the reverse. Where is this mother's own mother? Where is this mother's husband? Where is this society's safety net? Why is all the pressure falling on a woman who is already going hungry? Second story, this mother says she has 4 children, a 14-year-old daughter, a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son, and a 2-year-old little daughter. The 14-year-old daughter does well in school, just started high school, has good friends, and hasn't shown any red flags that would worry her parents. Last month, the mother even took her to a Walgreens clinic for nausea and headaches. The doctor said it was hormones and stress, and found nothing unusual. The mother had no idea pregnancy was a possibility. Until last Saturday morning, when she was cleaning the downstairs bathroom and found a receipt for a pregnancy test and part of the packaging. She said, "I had no idea she was sexually active. We've been very open with her and our 9-year-old. We've talked about birth control, talked about how pregnancy can happen even without ejaculation. She knew all of it. But she was pregnant anyway." On Saturday, she waited until her husband went to work, sent the other kids to her sister's house, and took her eldest daughter alone to a coffee shop. She tried to create a safe space, a one-on-one mother-daughter conversation. She asked her daughter what she had found. The daughter froze, started trembling, her eyes turned red, and then she cried. The mother asked her, "When did it happen? Was it positive? Who is the boy?" The daughter said it was the boy she dated over the summer from the same school. They had sex when the boy's house was empty. She told her mother she was at a friend's house. The mother said she asked her daughter what her options were. The daughter said she didn't want an abortion, and by her estimate, she was about 14 weeks along, probably past the legal limit. She also didn't want to give the baby up for adoption. The mother is taking her to see an OB-GYN tomorrow. The daughter has always been thin, looks older than her age, and isn't showing a belly yet. The boy is a year older than her, about 15 or 16. Friends, this mother wrote one sentence in her submission: "I feel like a complete failure as a parent." That sentence, I think many parents have said to themselves in the depths of some late night. When their child is hurt. When their child makes a choice they can't understand. When their child walks down a path they tried so hard to protect them from. But here is an extremely important detail. This mother herself also gave birth to this daughter at 19. She and her husband married before 19 and had their first child at 19. She said, but 19 and 14 are completely different. She won't turn 15 until May. Yes, completely different. 19 is young, but it is legally an adult. 14 is still a child. A child still in their first year of high school who has to tell their parents where they're going when they hang out with friends. This mother gave her daughter what she herself never had: open sex education, honest conversations, knowledge about birth control. She tried to break the generational cycle. She didn't want to be like her own parents, devout, strict, no dating allowed until moving out at 18. She gave her daughter freedom. And then she asked herself, maybe this was my mistake. Dear listeners, this is not a mistake. This is love. It's just that sometimes, even love can't stop that torrent of adolescent hormones. The submission mentions that the daughter hasn't yet told the boy who got her pregnant, nor anyone except her best friend. Here is an angle that many people overlook when discussing stories like this: that 15 or 16-year-old boy is also a child. He might also have no idea what happened, or he might know and be paralyzed with fear. A pregnancy resulting from sex between two minors, this is not a story about a jerk. This is a story about two families who both need to take responsibility. One thing this mother should do next is contact the boy's parents. Not to accuse, but to have a conversation. Because regardless of who ends up raising this baby, that boy has both legal and moral responsibility. Moreover, two families supporting the situation together is far better than one family bearing it alone. Finally, I want to say a few words to that anonymous mother. You did the right thing in that coffee shop. You didn't scream, you didn't shame her, you didn't confiscate her phone. You took her to a safe place, you asked questions, you listened to her answers. You're taking her to the doctor tomorrow. You didn't kick her out of the house. This is something many teenage mothers have never received. You gave her what you yourself probably needed most at 14, a mother who is still present, still willing to stay. As for how to tell her father, find a time when it's just the two of you, just like you took your daughter alone to the coffee shop. Tell him the facts. Give him time to digest. Don't expect him to accept it immediately, but trust that a father who loves his daughter will eventually understand. What matters most now is not who made the mistake, but how do we, as a family, walk through this together. This road is long. Becoming a mother at 14 means she might be 20 years old with a 5-year-old child trying to go to college. It means your 2-year-old daughter will have an infant nephew who is 2 years younger than her. It means there will be 2 children crawling around your living room. But you also know something else. A woman who became a mother at 19 can also own a big house, have a high-earning husband, and have a complete family. You did it. Your daughter, with your support, might also do it, just starting earlier and needing much more help. You are not a failure. You are her reason to keep living. Good night, dear friends. May every mother crying alone in the deep of night know that she is stronger than she thinks. May every young child, after making mistakes, still be loved.